5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, hippies, friends, Romans, and hippies, lend me your ears. I come not to praise the rumors, but to bury them, so this cookie will crumble by the numbers, more or less. Despite what you may hear or hope to hear, or hope, or have heard, or have hoped, there are not going to be any active duty U.S. uniformed Marines appearing at any demonstrations in support of the demonstrators either on Wall Street or anywhere else, certainly not as demonstrators. Nor will any other members of the U.S. military services, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, whatever. Not going to happen. It just ain't. Well, I guess unless there's real trouble and they're called in for crowd control. I served in the USAF from 1964 to 68, and I want to try to dissuade the optimistic and innocent as to the possibility that the military will ride to the rescue, to disabuse the naive and hopeful, often the same people, unsurprisingly, of that same illusion. I wasn't a combat trooper, never fired the gun at anything other than paper targets, but I did everything else that soldiers do, and that included learning about the UCMJ. Military justice is probably a more egregious oxymoron than military intelligence. The UCMJ is its code, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Well, you wouldn't expect something governing the military to be out of uniform, would you? The U.S. active military personnel are permitted by the terms of the UCMJ to join any such demonstrations as Occupy Wall Street, but only in civilian clothes. And though they are usually sternly and unofficially discouraged for it, and it would probably be worth their careers to be photographed doing so, they are strictly forbidden to do so in uniform. It's a court-martial offense. So if anybody shows up at the Occupy Wall Street demonstration or any other kind of demonstration in uniform, they're going to be veterans, not active duty. There appear to be exceptions made for officers, by the way. The more senior, the more exceptional. What they say in the ranks is different spanks for different ranks. No officer would go to Leavenworth for appearing in uniform at a pro-war gathering, but it would surely be the fate of a mere NCO or soldier who attended an anti-war demonstration in uniform to be sent to Leavenworth to make the little ones out of big ones for the lifetime. Strangely, some people do seem to believe that, like the Russian army at Petrograd in 1917, ordered to restore order among rioters and demonstrators, U.S. troops would not open fire on their fellow proletarians if ordered to do so, but that's wishful thinking. They either have short lives or short memories. Remember Kent State, May 4th, 1970, 4 dead in Ohio? I personally have suspected that's one of the reasons the Bolsheviks, and especially Cheney, that ogre, ordered the Garden Reserves to fight in Iraq. It was to blood them, to get them used to looking at civilians as the enemy, to teach them the mortal amorality of taking orders, and to inure them to shooting at innocent civilians if ordered to do so. Because, of course, any place can be a combat zone, and anybody can be a suicide bomber, and nobody is to be trusted who is not in the uniform. So shoot first, and whatever happens later, that's later. That's the way you stay alive and whole. Whatever else they say at regiment, that's what the sergeant will tell you down at squad level. Now, a caveat, hippies. I don't want to make any pretense about being some kind of grizzled old warrior or hero. I'm not. I was a glorified file clerk with an NSA clearance. But I was in for 4 years during a war, and I made my rank, and I got my medals. It was almost 50 years ago, but I don't think all that much has changed. Okay then, hippies, dismissed. See you at the beach.